Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Sorry if my voice is croaky. I'm still sick, which is annoying. Right, I've got a bunch of stuff to go over today. We've got the new patch dropping tomorrow. I really thought we were going to get this big new feature, but as of now, it's like radio silence. It feels like it's just going to be some of the like quality of life changes around the amount of gear that we've got in terms of space, the amount of champion slots. It's all stuff that we want, honestly, so it's not like a bad patch. But I really thought November was going to be the patch for the big new content drop. They have said it's this year. So I can only guess then it's December's patch, or they're going to do it as a standalone. But honestly, I cannot believe there's no like what's next in Raid type of video out there. Maybe it's coming this week, because before you know it, we're into next week, and it's like the next fusion cycle and all that type of stuff. So I said it in a video the other day. It kind of feels like the calm before the storm, and we're still in that type of space. So I'm going to go through these kind of celebrations and why I think this is actually quite cool for Raid. I'm going to go into those champion nerfs that I mentioned the other day and a bit more of an update on that. Before I do, I just want to share with you something which is quite cool, or at least I think it's quite cool. So at Fateless, for those who don't know what Fateless is, we are creating our own game, right? And you can come and join the Fateless YouTube channel if you want to. We're actually sponsoring, you can see our kind of little logo down here in the bottom left. We're sponsoring the race to world first for World of Warcraft. So for any of those old WoW players, basically we're sponsoring Method, who are a big raiding guild. They've actually got this video they just launched here where they go through some of their kind of like hopes for the race. You can see Fateless here as well. They go through some of their hopes for the race, all that type of stuff, and it's worth a watch. So I will ping this down below if you fancy having a look. But yeah, but Fateless, we're moving things. We've got final conversations, hopefully, around the legalities of IP. So that's still in the mix, but I'm hoping we announce something this year. That's what I'm hoping for. So I feel like I'm being a bit like Raid. It's like it might come this year. But yeah, I'm hoping that's going on. But all in the meantime, we're doing a whole bunch of game development already. Like it's already happening. We've already got white box levels and stuff. So before long, you'll be able to see some of that stuff on the Fateless YouTube channel. Anyway, back to this. So I guess let's start with the champion nerfs that I spoke about the other day. I said in my video, based on the language they were using in their recent digest, that it felt like Trunda and Yumiko might be on the block for being nerfed. And this has come out from the mod team in Raid Discord. So they've said here, as for our plans for Trundas and Yumikos, we consider Hydra teams with those champions difficult enough to build. This is the weird language, right? We consider Hydra teams with those champions difficult enough to build, so the huge damage output is well deserved. There are no plans to nerf any of those at the moment. I don't know if any of you guys watch football or soccer or whatever, but quite often before a big manager is sacked, they say, we've got a vote of confidence in this manager and he will not be fired. And then like a week later, they lose one more game and he's fired. Look, it's weird to me because they said a similar thing about Corpulent Cadaver. We have no plans to nerf Cadaver. We don't want to change his kit. And then a month later, it was like, well, we've got to do it because it's ruining Hydra Clash. This makes me think the fact that they called out specifically the legendary and the void legendary here, and they don't mention Madman, who is the other one who's kind of like currently topical, I guess, who basically does the same thing as Trunda, but doing a 30% hit, which is still bonkers. I mean, if they just nerf Madman here, I think that's a poor show. I do. I think like, if you Raid, listen to this. If you just nerf one champion who's doing something funky without dealing with the issue in your game, well, it's either without dealing with the issue in your game, or you just acknowledge that this is meant to do obscene damage. Like, it's got to be one or the other, because you can't just be picking out one champion and saying, you know what, we're going to change his kit because he seems like he's doing a bit well for a rare. Actually, that's part of the fun thing around your game. So I think you're going to end up going from champion to champion as people find more fun ones and doing the same thing. So I'm hoping that there's some sort of sensible resolve anyway. Or maybe they just won't nerf anyone. And I think there'll probably be more people happy than unhappy with that. Anyway, let's get into the Singles Day celebrations here. This is quite an interesting thing that Raid are doing, and I actually think it's not a bad direction. I did see someone like upset in the Discord saying, I wish it was more of the epics being involved, but there's nothing to say that's not going to happen in the future. So I think we should praise when a direction is right, because then we might get some of the more juicy stuff. But basically here, we've got here Lady Mikaj, which is the mythical champion that you can fuse. You're going to be able to get your hands on Risk Arm, Trudor, Castigator, and Lumberer from these different events. And it's all happening over the next few days, next week, basically. So you've got Spider Turn Attack Tournament, which is basically now. I think it's now. Go and check. Yeah, I think it's now, or in like 15 minutes. Dragon Turn Attack Tournament after that. Ice Golem after that, then Fire Knight after that. So it's pretty much plowing energy into different events like normal, right? So there's nothing new here in terms of the way they're doing it, but it looks like everybody is going to be able to get themselves the rare, which then makes up one part of the fusion. And we're talking about the Lady Mikaj fusion, right? So Lady Mikaj is a brilliant mythical champion. I think she's one of the better ones that exists. And even unbooked, I'd say she's going to be valuable to most people. I did a video yesterday around Kira, who's actually a really good legendary progression champion, but eventually you're going to want to trade her up for Mikaj. So I actually think this is quite cool as well. Obviously, the downside here, and this is something which I hope they will add, or if they don't think to, Raid, you should add this. They should add more permanent epic fusions for the epics that go into these two legendaries. Imagine how much better you'd feel if it's like they add another 8 permanent epic fusions, and they're all of these different champions which go into these legendaries. Again, 4 rares go into these. It's just longer term content. Gives people a better avenue to get the thing that they don't have. Because, I mean, right now, for me, actually, Locthwain's the only one I don't have. So for me, it's like perfect. I've got everything else. But for others, you might already have Locthwain or whatever. That's where people are getting, I guess, upset because it's not exactly what they want. But you're going to be picking up these 4 rares to fuse into this. I'd imagine in the future, they'll do the same for this epic champion. The question is, how do they incorporate some of this stuff for the epics, which people might not yet have to get this to happen? Otherwise, it's a very long-term fusion. Like, to pick out the exact 8 epics that you need, it's just hot luck and actually not an, it's quite a stretch to be able to do that. So anyway, I think this is a good direction for Raid. I think it's the right thing. And yeah, I just let me know what you think down below. But okay, so I guess the good news is it is on the right-hand side here, but we've got 2 days to get 10,300 points for a rare. So it is the main prize, which, I mean, that feels like it's a lot of points. Let's have a look. If you're farming hard mode stage 10, then you probably get, maybe I can see, do I get like 50 odd points for my team? Is my team even still working at the moment? Hopefully it is. What's that symbol as well? What's this? Bannerlords. Bannerlords extra accessories. Okay, whatever. Hopefully this is not broken. Burn, ignite, enemy max HP, smackage, reset. Did we get it in time? I think we did. So we're going to be on like turn count, maybe 10 or something. Turn count 10. So this is about as good as it gets, I think. What did I get there? 73 points. So, and my team's about as good as it gets, right? So 73 points. I think it's what I just got. Yeah. So let's get my trusty calculator out. I should be able to do this maths, but my brain is not working. Right, 10,300 for a team that does it about as well as it can, near enough. It's going to cost me 141 runs. What's the energy cost there? 20, is it? Probably got that wrong. So in 2 days, about 2,800 energy. It's a bit more, but actually not a lot. It's a bit more than all of the energy I'm going to get over the next 2 days. So probably going to cost me a bunch of gems to do 1 rare. And obviously then I've got to do the same on the other dungeons. And honestly, Spider is by far the easiest one to get a low turn count. Okay, so, but like by far the easiest one. Let's assume I'm an average player then. So probably someone clearing like stage 20 or stage 16 or something. And you're getting maybe, let's call it 25 points a run for the average player. And you might not have the same requirement as me. I'm not sure. let's say 25 points a run, and it's costing you 16 energy. So at that point, it's more like 6,500 energy. And at that point, I'd question whether that's worth. Honestly, like in 2 days, I don't know if I've done the maths wrong there, because that feels like the number's wrong, but hopefully that's not where you're at. But anyway, that's where we're at. That's what's going down. Let me know what you think. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.